Walking in nature can help calm you down. It relieves stress and opens your mind to think more clearly, broadly, and deeply. When you slow your pace, you can contemplate life. This is what happens when you wander on purpose.
Hello from Germany. I'm Laura, and I'm going to be taking you through Magdeburg, Germany today. This has been my hometown for 2 years, and we're located in East Germany, Saxony-Anhalt. This is all just walking distance from my house. Just giving you a little taste of what a walk in my neighborhood actually looks like. I'm going to head over this way, which is where the Elbe River is, and it's one of my favorite places to walk. So boldness, that is the word that we're talking about today, and I feel like I could talk about this subject forever because it's such a great, it's a great word, the act of being bold. To me, it's actually a combination of when you are being bold, it's a little bit of courage and it's a little bit of confidence. And essentially, when you're being bold, you're going outside of your comfort zone in some way. So that's always a win in my book. And I think there's so many different ways of being bold. You know, you can think about trying things for the very first time, like learning how to ride a bike or jump in the water and swim. And things like that have all kinds of rewards as you go throughout life. And, you know, maybe you're swimming in oceans you never thought you would, or biking through countries you never thought you would. But those things never would have happened had you not learned the skill for the first time. Also things like entering a new relationship, like that's scary. Whatever kind of relationship it is. And that's a bold move. The big one for me, I think, is when you're being bold enough to change your behavioral patterns and really get outside of your comfort zones. I do think that's really what life is about. That's how you figure out and gauge what works for you and what doesn't. And essentially you're being vulnerable enough to be your true, authentic self and share that with other people. And when you can change sort of when you get into a rut, that might be scary at first, but I feel like there's always some rewards that go along with that. You know, those are those moments where, you know, you're like, oh, remember when I did that one time? And I just feel like the more you're bold in life, the more you enrich your life. And it's just kind of a win-win. I mean, I'm a big fan of being bold. So whatever you're doing today, however big or small it is, try and do something that's bold in some way, even if it's the color of clothing that you put on for the day. Being bold, I think it's a good thing and definitely makes for a much more enriching life when you can be that often.
Hi, I'm Erin, and today I hiked up to Inspiration Point from Altadena. This week's theme is boldness, which to me is more than courage. It's an ability to take risks. Taking risks can be good. You know, a lot of life is outside of your comfort zone. So if you're bold and take a risk, you get a larger reward. Or at least you'll be rewarded with something that you wouldn't have if you were timid. But boldness, it's more than that. It shows confidence, guts, bravado. You're not frightened. When I think of courage, I think, you know, you might still be afraid of something, but you do it anyway. But with boldness, it's almost like you're thumbing your nose at the world and you're like, look at me, I'm going to do this thing no matter what anyone says. When I think of courageousness, I think of goodness. I think every time I think of somebody that had courage, it was courage to do something good. Or, if we're using that word correctly, it is for some sort of goodness. And boldness can certainly be good, but I think you can run the risk of being bold in a negative way. You know, you're doing something just to make a statement, just to agitate, just to get a reaction, because boldness will almost always warrant a reaction. And I think that that's part of the intention of making a bold move, is to be noticed. And I think that courage, there's not that intention of being noticed. You're just doing something. But yeah, with boldness, you're doing that with your eyes wide open, and you're prepared to get that reaction, good or bad. So I think boldness is a good attribute to be risky and to do what needs to be done, but it also is one of those things that just needs to be tempered, and as long as you do it from a good place, then that goodness will follow. But it could be something that would have a bad results. So those are my thoughts on boldness.
Hi, I'm Kate, and I am hiking today at Topanga State Park.
I don't think I'm very bold. I may have done things that others would determine would be courageous, but I wouldn't think of them as necessarily bold. So what's the difference between courage and boldness? That's the thing to determine, because to me, somebody could be courageous and it's something you wouldn't even know that they're being courageous, because they may keep their fears completely to themselves. But they know in themselves that I'm doing something very courageous right now. And I think boldness is something where it's for everybody to see. I think boldness makes you more of a target than courage does. Maybe. Because we often think, like people wear things that are very bold or say things that are bold. It makes you kind of a target, but it also allows everybody to know where you stand. There's no guessing. Like, you may or may not agree with them, but you know where they stand because they're bold in their convictions, or their attitude or their dress.
Yeah.
And I think probably you need a certain amount of courage to be bold, but you don't have to be bold in order to be courageous. How about that?